Hi everyone. Today I am going to be doing a review of this White Nights Granulating Watercolor. This is the extra fine artist colors, and it is a product I believe made in Russia. I found it in one of my instructors classes on Skillshare, and I am going to be swatching it and also doing some Galaxy illustration with them. I already opened it, but this is the box it came in, and I bought it on Amazon. It was fairly cheap. I have heard that I believe is the whole bin granulating watercolor is the best out there if you want to do landscape illustration, but this is way cheaper and it's pretty affordable. It's 21 in here, and it comes with this swatch card, and I believe this is just like a confirmation of the QC department. I've looked into the product to make sure that there's no damage. And these other colors in here, when they came wrapped in like the foil and wrapped like a little candy. So what I did is that I know that sometimes I've seen artists here on YouTube that have saved the wrap of each of their watercolor half pans here. They've saved them so that when they want, or if they run out of this color, for example, they have the name of the color that they are looking for that would match, so they can just go buy this one on its own. You don't have to buy the whole set again. If you run out of one color, you could just go online. And one thing I noticed here is that I believe that they have to do better with the words here. It's very hard to see. If you can see, this is the name right here of the color that I'm holding in my hand. This is the name right here. And one thing I like also is that if you look here, I'm going to turn it over here. It is number 389. So even though it has all the numbers here, 191, 1389, it has the number on the side. As you can see, it's 389 here. So if you're looking, that's another option. You can just go online. I believe if you go on the White Nights YouTube Amazon page, you should be able to find number 389. But some artists keep the wrappers and they can just put in the name. It's easier that way. And I wrote down the name of the color here and I put the number here. So I'm going to save this, and if I decide to get more, I can just reference this to purchase more, or if I need a specific color. I believe that this is also one of the best when it comes to granulating watercolors, and I'm going to be swatching them here on this card because it comes with this. So this is easier for you to store into your tray here. So when you want to look at what color it is, it's easy to look it up there. So I'm going to be doing that in a few minutes, and I see that it's very, the illustrators that I saw that used them, they really gave good reviews of them. They have the regular watercolors and they also have the granulating. I never really liked granulating colors because I just didn't like I didn't like the way it looked, but I never understood why people use, or artists use, granulating color until I started taking classes on landscapes on Skillshare, and that's why I understand that granulating colors are best for landscapes. So I have this Daniel Smith that I bought from Etsy, and I found a very cheap price. And what I did is that when they sent this to me, it came with this swatch card here. It's like a plastic, but I didn't really understand how I didn't like it, so I had to do my own swatch. So it helps me to know what color it is. And as you can see, Daniel Smith is one of the best also when it comes to granulating colors. And this one, I've been using it, and I've been learning using this one. I use it a lot in my day-to-day practice as I'm learning, but it's very pigmented. Daniel Smith is one of the very, very pigmented, and it's granulating. But I know that they said Holbein is one of the best, but I love Daniel Smith. So when I used to use this, I never understood why is this like a grain in the middle of this, why this grain? Why this little dots here? Why that grain? I never understood that that's what's called granulating. I never said, and when I found, I said, I'm not going to use granulating colors anymore. But when I started taking illustration of landscapes, I understood why, and I felt now I've fallen in love with yeah, granulating colors when I found a whole bin and I found these white knights. And I'm going to show you some of the illustrations that I did recently in one of the Skillshare classes I took using granulating colors. This is the Daniel Smith. So this is one of the ones I did. And I really enjoyed learning how to use the splatters, how to do the background, the foreground, and then this is my best. As you can see, the effects of the granulating colors. Look at that. This is one of the recent classes I took, and it challenged me. I've never done anything like this, but it challenged me, and I was glad I did it because it helped me to understand that I could do more as I practice on my own. And so I plan to do more. I plan to illustrate the scriptures, and I'm going to be doing landscapes, and so I will definitely be doing more of this. So in a few minutes, I'm going to be swatching all the colors, and I'll be right back. So guys, I have started the swatching of the colors for the white knights, and I could definitely say that they are so beautiful. As you can see, this has the granulation. It's really showing. Most of them are very pigmented, and I'm just dipping my escorter brush in a little bit of water and dapping it on the tissue, and I'm going to continue swatching it. Right now, one of the things that I don't really like as I'm swatching is the fact that all the half pans are inside here. So as I am swatching it, I cannot like say, okay, this is number 389. I have to like hold it in my hand, because once I drop it back in the pan, you know, I can't see the numbers. So I have to reach for my swatch, the wrapper that I showed you earlier. I'm reaching for it right now, so I can tell you what color I'm doing right now. So I'm just going to sit this in front of me, and I'm going to be reaching for it once in a while, or looking into it to tell you what color I'm working on. I'm trying to see if I can hold it down, but I think I'm just going to put it behind the wall here, and I will have to grab it once in a while to see what color it is. So right here is this one right here is the Ombre Azure. This is it's very fine. The writings on it are very small. This is Brom Hematite. This is Brom Grease Rose. Right here at the top is Ombre Blue Seal, Brom Rose, Brom Blue Seal. Right there is the Ombre Violet. And right now I'm going to be doing the Rose Turquoise, Brom Rose Turquoise. And that's how I'm going to be going. So I'm going to speed it up, and I'll be back to show you the final results. So guys, this is the finished work for the swatching. I would say the colors are very beautiful. They're very vibrant, and not a lot of them have this two-tone. Like this one is the Broom Escarlate, and you can see it has some kind of dark bluish grayish in the background. Not all of them have that. Some of them have just solid colors. This one also, the Broom Hematite, has some kind of a dark blue at the background, and some of them are very light, while some of them are very pigmented. So I'm going to be doing a lot of landscape illustration using them, and I'll be showing them to you. Okay. So I'm going to be starting this painting now. I'm going to be doing a galaxy, as I'm learning from my instructor, I mean. she mentioned that we should water. So what I'm just doing is taking my DaVinci number 4 Petite Gris Spore brush, and this is I believe it's animal, and she mentioned that this kind of brushes, they hold a lot of water. So she said what you should do is just quickly, not say quickly, but just wet your paper. I'm using a cold press. I'm using the Arches cold pressed paper I got from Amazon. And she said, don't just be in a hurry to just wet and move on. You have to stay at least a few seconds, wet your paper with just as you dip your brush in water, it should be dripping slightly, and you just go around it over and over again. So I'm going to be just following her instructions here. I'm going to change to my number 1 DaVinci Petite Gris Spore. Also, this is animal, and I'm going to be using it to mix a light quinacridone rose, and I'm just going to put it all around lightly. I'm going to add some water. Just add in a little bit of water lightly on the paper. So this is a galaxy we're doing right here. I'm just using the tip of the brush to add this quinacridone rose to different areas of the paper. And I'm just going to be speeding it up so I don't keep you guys waiting in the next one. Guys, the second layer is what I'm going to be doing now. This is the first layer, and all I'm going to do is just take my brush, my number 4 DaVinci Petite Gris Spore, and I'm just going to lightly go around with water. Don't try to rub it deeply. Just put water and just run it over, and then we're going to start the second layer. One thing I noticed about this paper is that it's warping even after I taped it down. So I'm going to have to give it a different, try another paper that I saw another instructor use, and then I'm going to see how that goes, because I taped it down, but it's still warping, and I'm just going to do a time lapse so I don't keep you guys, watching it. But the colors that I'm using is quinacridone rose. I use the White Nights, also I use the ultramarine blue, and once in a while I would mix the ultramarine blue with the quinacridone rose to get this purple shades right here. And so you can also use Payne's Gray, mix it with the ultramarine blue to just get a darker shade up here and at the bottom. So I'm just going to do the time lapse now. Okay, so now I've done with the third layer, and what I'm going to do is add the stars, and I'm going to be using my Dr. P.H. Martin pen white, and this is very good because it is watery. I'm going to show you my palette. I've dropped, it has a dropper inside. I'm trying to open it here, and you can drop it right there, because see how the consistent is watery. but not too watery, and it's very thick. I like it because I have another gouache, the stick, but this one it's been very easy to use. I don't have this one. You can use, put a little bit water in it. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a little bit of water. I'm going to use this size 1 Da Vinci brush, and I'm going to use that for the splatter. She did say that don't put too much water on your brush. If you have too much, when you make the splatter, you have large drop, that means you have too much water on your brush. So I'm just going to lightly tap, as you can see. And if you want smaller, from what I've been researching, if you want smaller splatters, use a smaller brush and a little bit of water too. So I'm going to try to use this Escotter size 8 and put water on my brush, and I'm going to just see if it will give me smaller splatters. So I'm going to use my fingers like that. And so when I'm done, I will come back to show you the final results. Okay guys, so this is the final look. I'm just going to lift this tape here. And so far, the tape is not tearing off my paper, because I noticed that I have to find 3M. I've seen that the 3M, some artists use it and it's not tearing off their paper. This is not tearing off so far because I'm using, as I said, this is a cold press arch paper. Is it arch? I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And so far I like what it did. I don't know why it bled through, but this is what I have. And one thing I've also done is, like, sometimes I would take this silver size 6 ruby satin brush. It's a flat brush. I'll just take it and clean up some of this mistakes right here. I noticed that, okay, I have to wipe because it's making a stain. I'm going to rub it off because I rubbed off on it. Your tissue is another way to, wet tissue, you can use it to clean tissue. You can use it to wipe any mistake off. So I'm just going to do that, but don't rub, because that's what I did. I'm just going to put it on it. You might have to do it twice just to make it look neat. When I do that side, I'm going to have to come back and do it again. If you rub it, it's going to lift the pigment over there. Just to make it look neat. That's why I'm using the flat brush. May not be perfect, but if you're planning to sell your art, I would say invest in a good tape, painter's tape. I have painter's tape. I might have to go get it out to use it. I have it when I used to paint. When I also paint my, so I'm gonna have to try to see if that's not going to cost this stains like this, because you wouldn't want all that hassle when you're trying to sell your art and it's messing up your work after all the time you've invested. So guys, this is what I did for the first time. This is my first time of painting something like this. I've done what I showed you. I've done that before, and this is my first time of doing the Galaxy. And I would already say that what I've learned is that most of the times you have instructors that are very detailed. They keep going over and over again. For me, after a while, when I get to a point, I'm like, you know what, I think I've done it. It's up to you to decide when you are ready to stop. You don't have to keep going, but once you put in the quality of work and you're like, okay, you're not enjoying it anymore. I think for me, it's when I'm like, for me, this teacher is very detailed. But one thing that just made me stop, because she was going 3 layers, and for me, I'm like, okay, I'm a beginner, and right now, every money I have, I'm very cautious about it, so I cannot keep going and using paints that I still have other classes to take on Skillshare. So I decided that after third layer, I stopped, and it still came out nice. She taught me how to use the same white gouache that I used to make the stars. I used this Spotter 20/0 Princeton Velvet Touch brush to just make the stars. And this is what I came up with. So thank you guys for watching. Please follow as I'm trying to grow my channel, and I hope to get better so I can start making products with my art. Take care. Bye.